We have another session today on alternative education plans that will help our youngsters and give them opportunities to have jobs and establish new businesses. There's a lot of things going on that we don't realize that can benefit our young African American, young Latino, young Southeast Asian, and just young people, period. So we want to talk about some alternatives today. Your company name is?
Green Tech. It's that's the short version of Green Technical Education and Employment.
All right. All right. Now, give them a little background on yourself, where you grew up and how you got involved in this.
Well, sure. I actually grew up in Solano County, the Fairfield area, and I came to school here at Sac State. Went to school for 5 years to study journalism. And what I learned was that journalism, you kind of get a little bit of everything in the world with journalism, right? You're not going to be the jack of just one trade, but of all trades, right? With journalism. So eventually, I kind of moved on to work in the state capitol as a legislative assistant and a policymaker. And what I learned there was a lot about how the new concepts are being put into our community through legislation. And one of them was how we're going to create this new economy, these new jobs. I saw that these environmental laws were changing and that those were going to create opportunities for young people. So that's kind of the background of how I got to Green Tech.
Okay, and I have to apologize, we did not tell them your name,
sure,
your position, go ahead and give them all of it.
Absolutely. So my name is Simeon Gant, and I am the executive director of Green Tech. Green Tech is a nonprofit that teaches high school students about career opportunities in clean energy and energy efficiency. So, we've been doing this for about 5 years now. And again, it's just been one of those things where we want to be able to teach our high school students about these new career opportunities.
Okay, is this somewhat a substitute for the vocational education programs we used to have?
To some extent, it's an evolution of the old vocational education classes. Now they kind of call it career technical education. Same thing. For the most part, what we look at and what we tell our students is that there are 5 elements of our Green Tech class. Those 5 elements are manufacturing, transportation, construction trades, public utilities, and career opportunities and overall protecting of our environment, what we call the ecosystem. So in those 5 areas, the industries are having a hard time to fill these high-wage jobs because they're changing the game, right? They're talking more about how we're going to lower the impact on our environment in construction, in manufacturing and transportation and public utilities specifically. In public utilities, there's solar, there's wind power, there's water power, and there's terminology surrounding all these different things that are evolving. And with Green Tech, we bring them in and we teach them about these new terminology and these changing principles. Okay,
now you said manufacturing.
Yes.
So tell me a little about the manufacturing.
Sure. So right now, as you may know, a lot of our manufacturing has been shipped overseas.
Yes.
And what's happening in manufacturing, there's little things like something called green chemistry. So they've created this way that where we create things through making it so that it's recyclable, that it's easier to decompose, so that it's healthier for our environment. There's all sorts of different ways that we now are saying that, look, the way we manufacture or make things in society that creates a lot of pollution. Well, we want to find different ways to do that so that we decrease our pollution in how we're producing and manufacturing items.
Okay. Now, I saw that Bakersfield was the worst city in the United States for pollution. I think it was at 149. Mm-hmm. But in China and Beijing, it was 755, the pollution. Mm-hmm. They said the pollution was so bad you could have a heart attack breathing the air from the factories. So now at one point, the United States was similar to Beijing, wasn't it?
It was. Beijing has, as it grows, it's been larger than us, so they're always putting out manufacturing things that creates this pollution. Yes, Southern California and New York and some of our bigger cities have been really bad, And over the years, we've decreased that through different strategies. And again, that's what Green Tech is about, is to kind of teach some of these strategies to our young people, because we will continue to attempt to lower our carbon footprint and the greenhouse gases and the pollution.
Okay, so now you said transportation also, didn't you?
Absolutely. So one of the things in transportation is there's incentives for a lot of these developers to create their businesses or their housing developments around public transportation. So there's also the creation of electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. The number one problem with air pollution in transportation is the use of the internal combustion engine, which is our basic car, right?
Right.
We're putting out a lot of emissions and we're breathing this pollution, while we're also now developing electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and our government is saying we have to increase the amount of alternative fuel and vehicles and electric vehicles and such, so that we reduce the greenhouse gases and the pollution that we're causing by driving.
Yeah, my wife works for High Speed Rail.
Okay.
The new bullet train.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
so
indeed.
I understand what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Because they're saying we'll be able to go to LA in 2 hours.
That's right.
And it won't be any pollution.
Well, yeah, and it'll be done by electric, and it increases public transportation. So it essentially gets people out of their car, and the more people we can get them out of their car, the less pollution we're going to put into the atmosphere. So the high-speed rail on its face is a good green mode of transportation, because it helps pull people from out of their car.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So now, we've talked about the manufacturing, and we've talked about the transportation. Okay, now, I also heard you talk about alternative jobs.
Sure. So, alternative jobs, we call them, for the most part, we call them green jobs. Okay. And these are jobs within these industries that have a positive effect or less of a negative effect on our environment. In public utilities right now, there's a lot of research being done in using alternative fuels and alternative clean energy, which for the most part is solar power, wind power, and water power. There's huge turbines in the ocean that they're creating energy with. Right now, what we're doing, for the most part, is drilling for oil to create energy and fuels, and we're doing things that are unhealthy to our environment. From the president on down, what the so-called agreement at this point is, we'll continue to do it the old way, but less, and we'll continue to research and do more clean energy and balance it out a little bit more.
Well, it appears to me that we had steam engines in the early 1900s. I mean, these were
absolutely.
So a lot of the power that we're talking about is stuff that was already invented.
Yes.
And now we're just specializing, making it better, and going back to it. So some of the solutions I think we already had. Maybe we just went in the wrong direction.
We did. We went in the wrong direction because we wanted more. Our society got bigger and bigger. We needed more and more and more. So we needed to use coal more. We need to drill and look for these fossil fuels more, but it's unhealthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once we found out it was unhealthy, then we tried some alternatives.
Exactly. We had to try some alternatives. Now, a lot of this stuff, folks have a tendency to believe it, we all think that health is important, right? But do we put it as a priority when it comes to changing our lifestyles? Well, most of the time we don't, as we should. And so one of the other things we talk to our young people about is when we're talking about utilities and saving money. Okay, when we start talking money, the kids kind of they listen, right? If your parents are unable to get you those Nikes or that PlayStation or Xbox because the energy bill is $500, whatever, is some exorbitant amount of money per month, then you might listen about saving energy, right? And about maybe putting solar panels on your roof so that you have a little bit of money extra so that they can get that Xbox.
Okay. Because I know when I worked in McClatchy, the BSU, we started the recycling of the soda cans, and all we did was buy trash cans and cut holes in them, and everybody put the empty soda cans in the trash can.
I see.
Well, after about a year, the school took that project over.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because we were making more money.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, it's a good program.
So that's a recycle program too.
That's right.
And now still today, instead of putting my recycle in the recycle can, I take it to the recycle folks.
Yeah,
maybe $5 or $6, but at least it's in my pocket versus.
That's right. It's good money and it's good for the environment.
Yes, it is. Now, what kind of alternative education for the young folks? When are you reaching them at high school, middle school, elementary, college? Where are you reaching our young people?
Yeah, we're reaching mostly at high school at this point. A lot of them are what they call community schools. These are students who are in credit recovery. But working with our mentoring program, we have pretty much all types of students, very diverse group. We certainly like to focus on underserved communities and foster youth, students that are struggling. But we like to let all students realize, even students who we know are going to go on to college, let them know, becoming an engineer and thinking about some of these ways to have a more of a positive impact on our environment. These are lucrative career opportunities.
Okay, so now you said at the alternative schools.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me why you've chosen those schools.
Sure. One of the things as we've discussed earlier is that a lot of these students are not going to be able to go on to college for many reasons. Mm-hmm. And so what we want to do is say, look, we want to help get you out of this school, graduate, whether it be with a diploma or a GED, and then we want to make sure that you're on a career path, okay, right away. And so that understanding if you're not going to make it into college, that you have some skills to get yourself employment or to create your own job.
Okay, is this somewhat like the apprentice program?
Absolutely. At this point, we will have some of our own apprentice programs, and we also like to be able to refer to ongoing apprentice programs that have been around for a while in construction trades and utilities and such.
Now, where are you located?
So for the most part, we are a nonprofit that teaches within the high schools. Our central office is in south area of Sacramento, but we go to the different schools. We go to American Legion High School. We also go to the Boys and Girls Club, where we have the SCOE community schools. That was SCOE for the Sacramento County Office of Education. Mm-hmm. We also teach on the third Saturday of every month at Cosumnes River College. And we bring the high school students to the community college and have this conversation with them about going green. Okay,
yeah. Now, do you have a website or?
We do. We have, it's www.greentech.edu.org.
Okay, we want to make sure we get that in.
That's right.
So people will know how to contact you. Do you have any pamphlets, booklets out or anything like that?
Well, right now we were putting out a lot of marketing material to kind of let people know that we're out there. We have a solar case project, a pamphlet, and we have a pamphlet that actually tells people how they can save energy and save money at the same time and go green. Our solar case project is one of the things that's a premier program that we're doing because we recognize that the young folks really, a lot of times, they want hands-on projects. So we've created what's called the solar case, and it's a box that actually creates light. The students get introductory or entry-level electric circuitry and then solar technology. So when the battery dies down, you have to connect it to the solar panel and creates light. When we're done with this box and it's all made, we send it to Uganda and Haiti, different poor countries that need light during medical assistance. Yeah, so kind of keep them busy.
I like that. I like that. What other projects do you have with the young people?
Well, we also have what are called Green Tech Tours. So we take the students to different companies that are already kind of moving into this green economy. There's a place in Folsom called Jadu Power. They create hydrogen fuel cells, and so this is the technology that the students can kind of see how these things are working out. We take them to different construction sites. The presenter will tell us what makes that building green. So the students can kind of get that hands-on, they gotta kind of see it, the day in the life of going green from a professional perspective.
Now I have a question now. Mm-hmm. They use a fuel cell to send the spaceships to the moon and back and forth, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So why can't they put a fuel cell in a car and let it go across the country 3,000 miles?
That technology is being heavily researched and a lot of it is done. They have in West Sac a place called the California Fuel Cell Partnership. And we've taken our students out there. They get a chance to actually get in the car and drive it around the parking lot so they can kind of get a feel for the difference between a fuel cell car and a regular car. So the technology is there. They are certainly working on making it go longer, and that's one of the big things. It's basically a battery. It's a cleaner battery.
But if they can get it to the moon, it seems like they can get it.
You're right. That's about as far as you can go, right?
Yes. So, why is it taking them so long?
Well, I think for the most part, the technology is there.
Okay.
And that's what they're showing off to us now. It's more of about, I think, making it practical for usage, for everyday usage.
Sure, it's not the oil companies making big profits and they don't want it out there.
There's always controversy. There's always controversy.
I just had to throw that out. It is fantastic and interesting to hear the concepts that you're working with the young folks. As you know, I worked in high schools for just about 40 years.
Yes.
And I worked in the vocational area for a long time. And I think that what you are doing is absolutely on target, because as you know, only about 33% of all the high school graduates even apply to go to college.
Yes.
So that means 67% of our youngsters are just lost because there's no vocational programs. When we had youngsters that wanted to learn how to be an auto mechanic, they were schooled every day because they didn't want to miss that class.
Right.
So I could see students coming to your classes to make sure, because they don't want to miss those classes.
They don't want to miss those classes.
Right, because that's something that they can do and go make some money. Everybody doesn't want to go to college, and everybody can't afford to go to college right away. But if I have a job and can pay my way,
that's right.
So it sounds as if you're on the right track, doing the right thing to motivate these young people.
Yes, we were working really hard on on getting them involved and understanding the direction that our society is going in.
Okay, so let's go one more time. I want the name of your company. I want your website, so they can get in touch with you. I want who you are. Tell them one more time. Look straight into that camera and tell them.
All right, will do. Okay, so my name is Simeon Gant, and I am the Executive Director of Green Technical Education and Employment. And we are located on the web at www.greentech.edu.org. We meet at Cosumnes River College on the third Saturday of every month, and at other high schools throughout the city of Sacramento.
And I am Poet Frank Withrow. That is the website, Poet Frank Withrow. Reasons for Rhyme. I'm I'm an inspirational speaker, because when you inspire people, you inspire them to get things done. You don't just motivate them and walk away and they have no more motivation. So I want to be inspirational and pushing new technology, the green technology, and making sure that you get something out of this. So if you have any students in high school, community college that are looking for an alternative education, please look for Green Tech, because I think they have something to offer. I know they have something to offer. So give just students and give our young people an opportunity for new careers, new technology, and just new life. Thank you. And we're signing off again this week. Bless you.